healing field. Well, welcome everyone to the Satori free evening for the being in the Tao Calligraphy healing field. My name is Annette Omuro, and I am a master teacher with the Tao Academy. And I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. And you know, when you come into this very powerful field, you know that, just sitting here with this high frequency, many of our negative messages are being removed. So what we're doing is we're sitting here and we're trying to actually feel better, feel healthier, and happier. So, I want all of you, and I know that Laurie will, I'm not sure if she's leading, but will tell you about, just check yourself at this time and see how you feel. And, you will go into the field and do some practices with her as well. And, at the end, I want you to kind of see how you're feeling today. I found myself coming into the field, and my goodness, I've been having so many wonderful experiences, and I know you will too. So I'd like to introduce to you Laurie, my daughter Laurie, who will be doing the presentation this evening. And she is a Tao, calligraphy teacher. And so we're very, very blessed that we have her here on Maui. So if any of you, because we know that Tao calligraphies are very powerful, but our teacher always says, when you start to write the calligraphies, this is how we can really start to heal, because you're connecting. And when Laurie's teaching us, she will make some corrections, and we can actually feel our bodies being adjusted or getting better, the areas that we are having some difficulties with. And so I'd like to introduce you to Laurie, my daughter Laurie. So you can begin.
Thank you, Mom, for introducing me. So thank you all for joining me. It's wonderful to be here at the end of the day. And in addition to being a Tao calligraphy teacher, I am also a certified master teacher with the Tao Academy. And I am a licensed psychologist by profession. So usually during the times that I present, I usually will touch base on a mental health type of issue, so we can be healthier and happier to our mental body, our emotional body. And as some of you may know, as Satori Family Wellness, who sponsors this wellness hour, my sister Chemi is an occupational therapist. So she tends to, focus on maybe some of the physical things that you may be needing support with. And my mom is a certified master teacher as well, and retired educator, and also teaches many practical techniques to help people of all ages, including, working with seniors. So for me today, I thought that we would focus and maybe follow up on some of the things that we've done in our previous sessions. For those of you who joined us before, and for those of you who are new or are watching this video and are brand new to this Tao calligraphy and this hour, hopefully you can understand more why Tao calligraphy is so important and precious to us. So today, So today I thought that we would be mentioning about the topic of anxiety. And I'll also be introducing the law of Shenqi that Master Sha teaches, and how anxiety might fit into this law, in how we can help to heal and transform anxiety. I may review what is Tao calligraphy and the Tao calligraphy healing field, or maybe we'll watch a video to have the video explain it to you much more succinctly. And then we will be doing a meditation with the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field, and then talk about some next steps of our wellness journey. So let me start off by just mentioning about anxiety. So many of us may have experienced some sort of anxiety in our life. And there is various types of anxiety, which I'll talk to you about soon. But just think about yourself at this time. Have you ever been anxious about anything, right? Maybe it could be if you had to do a presentation or you had to meet someone new, or maybe you are worrying or anxious about your finances or a relationship or any aspect of life. And anxiety by itself is not something negative necessarily, or something we have to judge or be overly upset or concerned about. It's usually if it gets to the point that it kind of interferes with our quality of life and our daily functioning. But many of us, it is a very common occurrence to have some sort of anxiety. So just in terms of our today, think about something that you might want to transform, that you might be anxious about, that maybe interferes with your quality of life or your movement forward. So it could be, even if you have maybe like a financial concern or you have a health concern, sometimes worrying about it or being anxious about maybe the process, what will happen. Many times I notice people with anxiety, we have a lot of questions. We keep wondering and worrying about things that kind of allows it to grow. So we'll kind of maybe have a simple technique that you can use, and maybe we'll just do it in the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field that you can use to help you manage when you get into that state. So, and you feel free to kind of mention in the chat, where you are in terms of anxiety, if this is a concern for you or not. And if this isn't, it's fine. This could be something that you could do to maybe prevent and actually continue to build your confidence that in any situation, any of your symptoms can be transformed to something more productive. So let's just kind of quickly go through some of the points I wanted to mention. So anxiety is actually the most common mental health disorder. My daughter would often remind me of this because she has anxiety and has worked with a professional to kind of help her transform. And I think it was calming, or to know that anxiety is actually a very common, and it is on the rise. So it is something that we don't have to be embarrassed about or judge ourselves or others who have anxiety, because it is a very common condition. But there is what we would call occasional anxiety versus an anxiety disorder. So occasional anxiety is an understandably a part of life for most people, that we may have things that we care about that come up, that we're concerned, such as our health, finances, family, or work situations. And we might worry or have some anxiety for a temporary period of time, but usually it can transform. And many times you can use various strategies, such as like cognitive strategies to think differently. It could be meditations to kind of calm ourselves down, and various techniques. So anxiety is actually very manageable, right? So if you do have anxiety, if you do reach out for support, there are many, many techniques that you can use to kind of help support you. An anxiety disorder is something more than temporary, right? It feels more constant, and you may have had a pattern of this since you're young, or it becomes to the point where it's really hard for you to do things, and it might negatively impact your quality of life. For instance, you might really have something that you need to go for a work or for family that you need to fly, but your anxiety of flying prevents you from, going ahead, or going to the market or the store because you're feeling, claustrophobic and, afraid of people, or not wanting to address that. So it can impact your everyday life. And these are conditions that are more concerning, that we would have you, reach out for professional support. But if we do have occasional anxiety, there are things that can be very manageable as well. And even if you have an anxiety disorder, there are these tips that can also help you to kind of manage your anxiety. And what we look at is frequency, duration, and intensity when we are looking to see the progress of anything. Okay, so like how long, so for those with anxiety disorder, the duration and the intensity of the anxiety is higher and the frequency is higher, right? So when you see any of those decrease, you are making some progress. And so how does this, let me see if I have another, okay. I was going to show you the mindset continuum chart first, because last time I spoke, we talked about some of the mindsets. And this one I felt, the chart had many areas. And this was like the worldview that we mentioned earlier, but this is how we deal with challenges. And I noticed that many times when we are anxious, or we have anxiety, one of the tendencies that people might want to do is that because it causes us anxiety, we want to avoid it. We tend to be in this column of avoiding challenges, right? And then we can kind of go on the continuum. So as you help learn ways to manage your anxiety, you're able to maybe do a little bit, take on some easy challenges. You're maybe be able to set some goals. You do some planning to kind of help to control some anxiety. And then you can actually train yourself to actually enjoy the anxiety. You're not afraid of the anxiety. You're able to use it to serve you, to kind of feel challenged, to maybe work out a situation, to know that you're going to be stronger and wiser, because your anxiety is just a sign that some things needs attention and you're addressing it, okay? And then finally, the high growth is you're actually embracing the challenge. Some people actually seek out situations that they are challenged so they can actually move themselves further. So one of the ways that when we manage our anxiety, we learn how to do that, we actually can get more confident in what we do. And we no longer fear if we do feel anxious. It doesn't worry us as much. So a lot of times I find like people are anxious and they're worried about being anxious. And a lot of their thoughts may be a lot of different questionings, what ifs, all of these types of things. So just being aware of the direction that you want to heal and transform by maybe just remembering this mindset chart and where you want to go, that can kind of remind you and help you cognitively to say, oh, no, this is okay, I can do it, and self-talk your way to feel calmer. So that is a strategy that people can use. And so there are many strategies can be helpful. But sometimes when the anxiety is at an intensity level that is quite high and you're having it for quite a while and your quality of life is being affected, I found that using some of the strategies that Master Sha has taught us and the Tao Calligraphy healing field can be so valuable because we are getting at the root causes of what may be causing some of the anxiety. So I'm thinking that what I will do is I'm going to share the video in case we have people who maybe join us who are new to Master Sha. And even if you're not, this is a video that you might have watched many times. Think about watching this and how you might feel it might apply to anxiety, okay? So I'm going to just share that.
Positive thinking and a special healing mantra or healing song, wonderful. But I think mind over matter is not enough. The next step is soul over matter. Soul over matter, soulfulness means our soul can make things happen.
Master Zhigong Sha studied to be a medical doctor in Western medicine from China. Through this journey, he came to learn of a 5,000-year-old practice in traditional Chinese medicine. This revolutionized both his practice and his healing gifts. This is his story.
When I was in a medical college, Xi'an Medical College, one time I think at the restaurant, the meat spoiled. Then I took it. Then I have vomiting, diarrhea, and my intestine cramped. Then midnight, I went to emergency. They give me injection in modern medicine. Nothing works. Ayo, pain. I drink water, pull throughout. I have a classmate. He is the traditional Chinese medicine lineage family, but he studied modern medicine as my classmate. And he came down to my room. He said, lie down. I lie down, lie on the stomach. And he put his hands on my inner thigh and also my lower back. And he said, relax. Then he moved the finger, moved my tendon. I was shouting, wow, very painful, very forceful, move my tendon. And then he said, drink the water. I said, I cannot drink anything. He said, big bowl of water, drink it. I drink it. I drink it. I was totally okay. I have such a deep impression. I said, wow, Chinese medicine, 5,000 years history. There must be something.
This experience, along with many more, changed Master Sha's trajectory from studying strictly Western medicine to also studying traditional Chinese medicine. He received his MD degree in Western medicine from China. He also became a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. As a lifelong student of ancient Chinese wisdom, Master Sha has come to learn this one eternal truth.
Millions of people in China know these three words, Shen, Qi, Jing. But I have realized Shen, Qi, Jing is more than people understand.
In traditional Chinese medicine, Shen, Qi, Jing are known as the three jewels or three treasures. Shen is the soul, Qi is energy, and Jing is essence or matter. Master Sha has learned and further teaches that everything and everyone is made up of soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. Or in other words, we are all made up of Shen, Qi, Jing.
During my study through the whole life, I have realized Shen, Qi, Jing is a universal law. Everyone, everything is made of Shen, Qi, Jing. Shen includes soul, heart, and mind. So in spiritual realm, soul is the spirit. But in quantum physics and Tao science, soul is information. They are the same. Millions of people believe here, soul and spirit. Millions of people believe scientific way. But in fact, they are the same. Information is your soul. So therefore, this is like an information system we share with humanity in Tao science.
To further explain, the soul is the warehouse where information is stored. Our heart is the receiver, which transmits the information to the mind. Our mind is the processor or interpreter of the information received. Our mind, in turn, directs the energy and initiates actions. This energy, or qi, dictates the actions of matter. Matter, known as Jing, can be defined as our physical body, physical environment, and physical circumstances. Knowing this, both the positive and negative information we consume play a crucial role in the outcome of our lives.
positive information causes great result for health, relationship, finances. If you connect with negative information, you are affected. We do Tao Calligraphy. We connect with the source. This is a positive information.
Tao Calligraphy is a revolutionary healing art based on an ancient form of one-stroke calligraphy, ibitsu, which he learned from the soul lineage holder, Professor Lee Chu Yun. Master Sha further developed this oneness writing to create a powerful vibrational field that carries the positive messages of Tao's source, such as the greatest love, forgiveness, harmony, flourishing, and more. Through this, we can transform negative information and energy in our own vibrational field by absorbing the positive information and energy generated through tracing of Tao calligraphy. This can result in positive changes and profound healing in our lives, as has been the case for hundreds of thousands of people whom Master Sha has served.
Tao Calligraphy creates source healing field that can serve all life, including health, relationship, and finances. I am delighted and excited to invite you to join the master class taught by master teacher Vanessa, Rejuvenation, Prolonged Life, as well as transformation of relationship and finances. Welcome you.
Okay. So thank you. So I just love watching that video, and it really shares again how Tao calligraphy can be so transformative. And so even for me, when I'm working with individuals, sometimes the traditional techniques that I may share with them may help them a bit, but it may come back again and again, or that it doesn't seem to be enough to kind of support them in the way that we would want to be. And those who are open, actually, I find, to Tao calligraphy and to Dr. Master Sha's teachings, wisdom, and practices, their healing and transformation journey accelerates, right? And they can actually, move, to have such a really positive quality of life that they're serving, they're sharing, and things that they could not imagine that they would be doing, they're able to do. So when we review the chart again and looking at the law of Shen Qi Jing, okay, the anxiety, when we think about it, we may be carrying these anxiety messages, right? Sometimes you might have light messages, but if you have maybe more of an anxiety disorder and it's a bit more chronic, you might have stored some of this anxiety messages, not only from yourself, but from maybe your lineage, right? Your ancestors. In our practice, we always will ask for family history, right? So if you have a family history of anxiety, you may be carrying more messages of anxiety that will affect you. And so, Master Sha talked about the soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. And when we're using Tao calligraphy, this is a pathway, right? When we're using Tao calligraphy, we are creating, transforming these negative anxiety messages to more positive messages that we will receive in our hearts, right? So the field of the Tao calligraphy and the Tao calligraphy practices and techniques can help us connect and create more positive messages that we can receive, we process. And these messages of processing the mind, like our thoughts, I find will naturally come. So sometimes with cognitive therapy, you might want to say, okay, just relax, calm down, don't worry about it. But the messages within you, like, it's hard to do, right? Sometimes it's hard to calm down. Even if you're telling yourself to relax and calm down or don't worry about it, you feel what you feel. And that might be because we just have so much information, right? And used to that it's hard for us to transform. it right away. But with the Tao Calligraphy healing field and the practices, we're training, we're receiving it at such a high level, frequency, and vibration that it can transform and it will affect our soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter, where then matter is like our body. So our brains may be easily, more easily form these pathways to peace and calmness rather than, heightened messages of anxiety, stress, worry, and fear. So let's get started and just kind of do a practice. So I want to think about what your current level of anxiety is. And if you're not feeling anxiety at all, it could be something that you sometimes might feel anxiety, or it could be something that you're working on transforming, because every week we might have you check in to see how your body is feeling, how your mental state, your emotional state is. So if you're not having anxiety, wonderful, you can use another area that you would like transform. But let's say you want finances. Think about your anxiety about your finances. Are you believing that you can transform your finances? Or if you're thinking about your bills, all of these things, does it cause some anxiety for you? So that's another way that you can kind of connect to, help to manage your anxiety for certain things. Sometimes it could be relationships. Sometimes you might have a meeting with someone and, that person is going to be there. I'm feeling anxious that that person is going to be present, right? So it's a relationship thing, but then it causes some anxiety. So that could be another area. As I mentioned before, a health condition, but you might have anxiety about, the current state of your health condition, or worries or fears of what might happen, or the process that you have to go through, like a medical process. So just allow yourself to kind of note. And again, not to judge it, okay? Anxiety, we can treat it as, we can honor it in the way that it lets us know that there's something we need to pay attention to, okay? Sometimes anxiety can give us energy to do something, right? So I had a friend who would have to get to a certain state of anxiety, of procrastination, to actually do her projects, because she was very laid back. And but she had to kind of, the anxiety of, my paper is to help to get her to actually do it, right? So it can serve in different ways, but if it gets to a point that, of course, it's not healthy and you're in the constant state where your body is feeling it, this is a place that we can heal and transform. So think about something that could be an anxiety area. And as you're thinking about it, notice where you feel it in your body. And just notice, I want you to kind of look at it from a more mindful perspective, like an uplifted and expanded perspective, more objectively, without judgment. And you're just kind of noticing, I'm feeling anxious, and I'm feeling it maybe in my heart. I can feel it in my head or my stomach. And notice the color or the shape or the size. And imagine that you can imagine, like with your mind power that we've talked about in one of our sessions, like imagine like this ray of light is going into that area. And you're just kind of wondering, what is it that you might be, a message or question or concern that you might be having that might be underlying the feeling of anxiety that you might have. Okay. And again, no judgment or no attachment. You just want to notice it and look at it. Just like if you were talking to a friend who had anxiety or was very anxious about something, and you just wanted to understand that person with kindness and compassion, and concern. You love that person, you want them to feel better. So I want you to kind of practice just having that kind of perspective with yourself, like being your own best friend. And you're looking within and saying, what is it that is, concerning you? What's making you anxious? And sometimes you might find that there might be a memory, might be a trauma that you're working with, or there might be a question or a thought, a judgment, a mindset that is causing that anxiety. And you don't want to judge it. What you want to do is, again, bring in this message and just connect with it and notice it with kindness and compassion, honor and respect. And as you just notice and connect with that anxiety, notice if your thoughts more naturally move to something more positive. Maybe like, oh, it's okay, I can do it. I don't have to worry about it. Maybe it might move to, oh no, this is good. I can work on this, and I can, maybe that meeting with that person, I can, share my perspective, or that it gives me an opportunity to, be more assertive, or to listen more, to help me regulate my body. So you can see some positives of it and see it as something to be grateful for. So if that's the case, beautiful, wonderful. You can continue to bring and look at it, connect it with love, compassion. But if not, if the anxiety is increasing, we'll kind of go to the field later, but I just want you to bring this love and light, this message of compassion, kindness, no judgment, coming in as you're just connecting, noticing it, acknowledging it. So anytime you connect with something, you're automatically shifting it in a positive message, information. Positive information is connecting, harmonizing, putting things in order, right? That kind of forms a more positive information. When we're in the negative information, there's some disconnection, disharmony, disorder there. So if you're feeling that, that might be a part of that anxiety. So by just noticing and connecting with it, you might find yourself maybe just kind of calming or seeing it from a different perspective. And again, you're going to just be looking at it with the uplifted, expanded awareness, just noticing, not judging, actually honoring and appreciating whatever you're holding there. This is information that is being made available to you so you can attend to it. So you can feel better, you can feel happier and healthier. So let's take a few more moments to just notice it in our bodies. You can imagine the light radiating into that area. Okay. Say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I'm just going to kind of connect with you and to see how many, and you can either raise your hands or unmute or write in the chat, or sometimes there's that reaction thing that you can put a thumbs up or hands up. How many of you, just with that practice, was able to feel some calming or calmness? Let's see if I can get this on gallery. Okay, great. I have one hand up. Good. How many of you maybe are still feeling the anxiety or it became stronger? Anyone? Is everyone? Okay, so some got stronger. Okay, so I'm wondering if Mercedes, you'd be open for me to maybe do a Tao calligraphy practice with you or blessing later on. We'll use the field first, so you can think about it. I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So what we'll do first is I'm going to introduce the field. So what Master Sha has given us is these are some tools. So we have some self-help healing and transformation activities. So what we just did was something that you're able to do yourself, that when you do this process, you're empowered to do something to self-heal, okay, to make yourself calmer, to kind of meditate. So this is something that you can do. He also has something that he calls that it is a special service. Okay, so what is a special service? A special service is something that that we connect with a higher power, so to speak, or a higher field, a frequency, vibration, and message that gives us this assistance that can kind of clear out the blockages that we might be holding, the negative information, to make us transform much more easily and much more quickly. So we're going to have all of you try to be with the field, and then I may also include another service. So so we have Mercedes who is willing to be a demo here. And maybe Mercedes, you can maybe mention what level of your anxiety do you have right now?
5.
5. Okay. Where do you feel it on your body?
Heaviness on the chest.
Heaviness on the chest. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Tao calligraphy healing lesson for Mercedes, and all of you can also receive what we call the splash of the blessing. So in the back of me, you will see this is a Tao calligraphy Da Ci Bei, greatest compassion. This is another one that Master Sha has created. That is Bolojedi Shifa Laling Topo, which is one of the high-level bodhisattvas that is part of the Dabejo that we can connect with to help. I'm going to do what is a Tao calligraphy blessing, writing blessing, and here's a 5. Okay, so I'm going to do what we call a master practitioner blessing for her. And everyone else, you can also just close your eyes to receive. You can watch me write as well, but we're going to just have you close your eyes to kind of also receive the splash. And this blessing of just writing Tao calligraphy, actually the practice of writing Tao calligraphy in itself, or any kind of calligraphy, they have research that just writing Tao calligraphy helps to calm your body, your system. There's this positive neurological effect that is very calming to your body. And so this is like a wonderful practice modality that you too can use for your own self-healing that carries higher frequencies and vibrations. But I'm going to write for healing for Mercedes. Okay, so you can see it. Everybody just relax. And if you're still like Mercedes having a high level of anxiety with something, notice where on your body that you're feeling that feeling. Notice maybe the color, shape, and size. And what you're going to do is just use some of your mind power and your heart power as well. So the mind power, as I mentioned before, is creative visualization. So as I'm writing, even though it's going to be dark as I'm writing, imagine that this light is coming out into the area that you're feeling that anxiety. For those of you who would like that slash just for prevention, of anxiety, you can have it come to your heart. Okay. So this is, I'm just going to connect and turn on my authorities that I have received from Master Sha to give this special service to Mercedes. Okay. And I'm going to use the, there's different phrases of Tao calligraphy. I'm going to just see. I'm going to use Tao Guangming. Tao Guangming is greatest light. So there's a saying that greatest light heals and transform. I'm going to use greatest light, and what you're going to just do is imagine greatest light coming in to Mercedes. I'll support this blessing by giving Mercedes love and light as well. Okay, so Mercedes, you can just kind of say your name 2 times to think about, and you're open to receive this blessing. You can express love and gratitude. And, as a student, if you're comfortable and familiar with the forgiveness practices, you can also do that as well. So all of these things like the forgiveness practice, the visualization, these all can enhance the process of the blessing. And maybe, Mom, you can kind of connect to see if maybe if there's anything that you see and that you can share. And maybe if there's others that, have their spiritual channels open, receiving messages for Mercedes, you can share as well. So Mercedes, just relax. You can close your eyes. So that's Tao Guangming, greatest light. And I'm just going to continue to connect. Tao Guangming, greatest light. Tao Guangming, greatest light. Clear. Just feel greatest light coming in 360 degrees. Thank you. Thank you. Just going to continue to receive greatest light, Mercedes. It's going to kind of write you. Okay, so I'm just kind of writing in the air for her as well. Okay. Allow yourself to kind of breathe in, bringing the light to your lower abdomen area. Yeah. Okay. The rest of you just think greatest light, greatest light, greatest light. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Mercedes, just kind of continue to kind of breathe, let the light kind of come down to your lower abdomen. Maybe Mom, if you might be want to share what message you received, or anything that you've experienced.
I'd like to just share what I experienced just by, connecting with what you're writing, Dag Wang Ning. As you were writing it, already my body just started to relax. The movement of the brush, I just felt very relaxed. But I did go through an experience this past Sunday evening, late evening, where I had a bout of anxiety because I realized that my passport would be expired before I get to on my trip in September. And so, wow, when you get that kind of anxiety, and we were talking about it, that, how these passports don't come in time. It takes sometimes 6 months. Wow, more of that. But then I sat down and I did what Laurie just did with us. And I noticed, you're aware that you have this anxiety, but I felt it all, by my shoulder, very tight. But, as I kept on sitting there and just doing exactly what she was telling us to do, I get messages that, and then you start to relax. And do you know, by Monday, everything, we got the papers. I got messages that, to call my daughter because I didn't have a car that day. And she helped me with getting my photo, getting the application done, mailing it out. And wow, how wonderful that anxiety is just removed. But it was actually removed when I was doing the practices, and sitting down, tracing, and just being aware that I did have an anxiety problem. But I'm so grateful. And so, even as we were blessing, I could see the light, because this is Da Guang Ning, and the light is coming towards Mercedes to really release many of the blockages that's causing that anxiety. And so I know that many times when we're just sitting in the field and just, relaxing your body, anxieties can be removed very quickly. So I thank you, Laurie, for giving us this opportunity to see you do the writing. So thank you very much for that. Very powerful.
Thank you so much, Mom, for sharing that. And, when she was talking about tracing, she was tracing Tao calligraphy. So the Tao calligraphy carries that frequency that can actually clear away not only the anxieties, but as she was speaking, I was remembering many times that when I'm getting anxious about something, I would trace, the calligraphy, or I would write calligraphy. And it actually not just changes the, your anxiety, but it seems to clear things. So what you're anxious about, kind of, it turns around, or things happen. Like my mom mentioned, my sister could help her and she was able to get all these things. It went smoothly, and things kind of fall into place. It's like it clears out the blockages or the things that, that you might be worried about. Like when we used to travel, I remember, I lost my passport at the airport, and we were chanting and right, we were sending blessings, and then, it was found right away. Or like things, that the travel things, you know, we made our flight on time, everything kind of worked out, like the blockages were cleared. So this is the power of Tao Calligraphy. And I just want to check in with Mercedes to see how she's feeling.
I'm feeling worried, still worried.
What
There's the
did it
anxiety,
go
but
up? Mm-hmm.
no, it did not. It just remained the same.
Okay. How's your thoughts, and were you able to kind of notice it in your body?
It just, it is in my, I'm feeling like a palpitation on my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's kind of do the practice in the field. So we're going to open up the field. So Master Sha has this very high frequency vibration. And for you, Mercedes, I kind of note when I'm kind of checking with my spiritual channels on my, that it's up there. Like you said, it's in your heart. The thing is congested there. So what we want it to do is help you kind of move it down. And so we'll use the field first and see how you do. And then if you still need support, we can give you some additional services to kind of help. And maybe Mom, you could do like a soul light, now light blessing. But let's open up the field and what you want to do. So let's have all of us just kind of connect to, for those of you who are still feeling anxious about something like Mercedes, or, you know, sometimes what happens is that when we receive a blessing and more comes out, right? And it kind of takes time to process and clear. So let's do, okay, we're going to do Da'ai. Oh, wait. Yeah, we'll do Da'ai. Okay, so greatest love is known to melt blockages. Okay. Am I sharing my screen? Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay. So what we're going to do is connect with the field. Okay. So we can just connect. Many of you are familiar. Dear the Tao Calligraphy Healing Field and the Tao Calligraphy of Da'ai. We love you, honor you, and appreciate you. Please support our request for transforming or healing, decreasing our anxiety for ... whatever it is that you're feeling. So, Mercedes, you can trace, and we can also trace for you. But all of you can trace for yourself, or you can just relax and meditate. I'm going to just play some music, and you can still do that same process that we did of looking at it, but notice how it might feel different when we have the field on, okay? So think about the area. Again, if you still have the area that you feel anxious, I think, no one raised their hand that they got rid of it except for Mom got better. So if you still have it, allow yourself to notice where in your body. And for those of you who want to trace, you can trace it. But for this one, for new people, we can just relax and imagine the field, the light from Tao Calligraphy, and I will be tracing the calligraphy for you to help support you, and for Mercedes as well. Okay. So imagine light from 360 degrees coming in from greatest love. Greatest love melts all blockages. Let me see here. breathe in this love and light. Imagine this pure positive energy coming into the area of your request. And just feel, have your mind focused on the light and the message of greatest unconditional love, melting your blockages, purifying your heart and soul. Allow the message that you are being loved unconditionally, protected and supported in this Tao Calligraphy healing field that carries pure, positive, high frequencies and vibrations. Heal and support you. Feel. So continue to relax. You're going to breathe in again the light of the field. Feel it coming in. Breathe it in through our nose. 360 degrees coming in. Bring it all the way down to our lower abdomen. And you're going to imagine a light ball, like a field of light in your lower abdomen. You can imagine that this field is gently rotating, maybe counterclockwise, to kind of ground, center, and balance you and stabilize you. So inhale this light, bring it down to your lower abdomen. Exhale, the light expands into your lower abdomen. Again, inhale to your lower abdomen. Exhale, you're being grounded, centered, and balanced. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We thank the field. And I know our time, we have a minute, but I just wanted to check in to see how people were doing, and maybe Mercedes, and maybe some.
It kind of, the palpitation went away, and it kind of reduced the heaviness on my chest. It did reduce the heaviness on my chest.
Ah, congratulations. And we only did it for a few moments, a lot of times we might need just more of that light and support. And so we do have this group membership that you can come and join us 3 times a week in the field to kind of work and have more of these cleared, because this field, like just in that short few minutes, she got even more released. The Tao Calligraphy blessing kind of helped clear some. And then as we got into the field, it cleared so much more quickly and easily. So this is what everyone can experience. And thank you, Brittany, for putting it up. That is the April Group Wellness Program. It is recorded. So even if you register now, you can go back to watch the sessions you did not get to watch, and then kind of join us, for the rest of the month. We do have the Tao Calligraphy writing series. Thank you for sharing that. It's started, but again, it's recorded. And just the practice of having a practice of using Tao Calligraphy, like my mom said, just seeing the writing and actually experiencing the writing yourself can also be a wonderful anxiety and stress relieving practice. And thank you, Brittany. She also mentioned a couple of services that Master Sha has. One is Tao Song Touch the Button. And he actually has a Tao calligraphy that he will show you how to trace. And then there's this kind of animation that you can trace along. And he also does the Tao Song blessing. And it's about 10 minutes if you do the heart one. For anxiety and depression, I would recommend that you get the one for the heart. And you just kind of follow along. One day I was feeling heavy and I just kind of played it. I played it once and I played it again for about maybe like 5 times. And I just felt so much lighter. And I usually like start my day and I end my day. And if I have time throughout the day, I'll play it again. And that really like lightens your heart. And the heart is associated with healing depression and anxiety in the traditional Chinese medicine theory. So, and that one is only less than $10. This is for, I cannot describe his generosity. So that is something that you can also do. And the Tao water blessing. So for Mercedes, since she might be having some anxiety, she's already probably part of our membership. So, continuing there. If she hasn't already, I might recommend that she also add the Tao Song Touch the Blessing. So the deeper level blockages can be cleared. And also the Tao water, which you can get, I drink mine. I always have it with me. And you can get it for a week, right? So every week you would re-register, but you can register for any condition. So it could be for healing anxiety or transforming anxiety, or for your heart, right? And you kind of can drink that. You can bring it, especially it's particularly powerful when you have your water and you do it in the field. You do there's a meditation that you can do to drink your water. So thank you, Brittany, for sharing those links. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And I know that my mom's workshop will be coming up at the end of the month, April 24 and 25th, for a monthly workshop. And it is actually with Tao Guangming, right? It's something about stepping into the
light. Yes.
Stepping into the light.
Yeah.
Yes.
Step into the light. Yes, step into the light.
Step into the light. So please, the registration is on Eventbrite. And you can, so you can already start registering for that. So thank you. I'm glad that you feel a little bit better, Mercedes. If you need more support, we do have other support that we can help you. All of my mom, Chim, and I, we're all available for personal, private sessions. And we also have special packages that you can get, like continued coaching or a series of sessions that can kind of help you through the process. Because many times there might be some underlying things that we need to address, just as we talked about, like the mindsets or some of the other, challenges that you might be going through, that we can kind of help you step by step. So please let us know if that's something. If you're new, and would like to see what would be helpful for you, we do that complimentarily. And so you can get more information. So thank you, everyone, for joining again. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, those of you who are in the monthly program, Chemi will be having a session at 10:30 a.m. And you can still join us, for those of you who are not yet a part of our program. She does a wonderful practice, especially with the physical body, to help kind of preventive things like stretching and other exercises. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mom, for your sharing. Thank you, Eddie. We have a 999, Chemi, Claire, Joanne, both Joannes. I'm so glad that both of you are here. Mercedes, thank you for being the demo. Naomi and Wendy. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Have a
Thank you. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you all.
Love you all.
Night.
Night.